Hello and welcome to Crypto News. Today is August 21st, 2025, and here are the top cryptocurrency news stories. We'll start in the UK and see what people are experiencing there, as 40% of crypto users say they've been blocked from depositing money to an exchange. So a growing percentage of crypto investors in the UK are finding it difficult to use their accounts. Specifically, a study of 500 British crypto investors and a larger sample of 2,000 adults found that 40% of users said their bank has either blocked or delayed payments to a cryptocurrency provider, such as an exchange. Of those affected, 29% have filed a complaint with their bank about this practice, while 35% said they've switched lenders in response. So that's what people in the UK are experiencing. Moving on, we'll move on to stablecoins and see what banks are trying to do in the US. Specifically, the US Banking Association and a coalition of more than 50 banking associations representing every state in the country are trying to pressure lawmakers to amend the Genius Act, which is the law governing stablecoins in the US cryptocurrency market. The main thing they're trying to remove from the law is the ability for cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase to offer customers returns on stablecoins. As you can imagine, one of the main concerns for banks is that many users are taking money out of banks and putting it on exchanges like Coinbase to earn higher returns on their stablecoins, and they obviously don't like that. But the cryptocurrency market hasn't been sitting idle. Cryptocurrency lobbyists sent a letter to the Senate Banking Committee on Tuesday night urging lawmakers to reject the banking industry's efforts to repeal key elements of the recently passed Genius Act. To be honest, I'm not too worried, and I don't think it will work because first, the crypto lobby is very powerful, and second, if you look at the statistics, we see that stablecoins have yielded $800 million so far in the last 30 days. Of that, $8.39 million came from BOIDL, which is the tokenized US Treasury fund managed by Securities. This is owned by BlackRock, so I'm sure BlackRock wouldn't want them playing games. Continuing in the US, we move on to the Gemini exchange, which gave $21 million to CryptoPack, an organization that supports Mr. Trump because it is considered friendly to crypto. They gave that money now as they are looking to become a publicly traded company. Moving on, I also want to share something very interesting that the new chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, said, which I forgot to mention 2 days ago. What he said is that there are very few tokens that are considered securities. He said this while speaking at the Wyoming Blockchain Symposium about the SEC's new initiative, the Crypto Project. Specifically, he said, from the SEC's perspective, we're going to go with the idea that the token itself is not necessarily the security, and probably not. There are very few, in my opinion, tokens that are securities, but it depends on what kind of package it's wrapped around it and how it's sold. Moving on to ETFs, we now have full data from August 20th. In the spot Bitcoin ETF, we have outflows of $315 million, while in the spot Ethereum ETF, we have outflows of $240 million. Finally, moving on to companies, we go to Hong Kong-based construction company Ming Xing, which signed a deal to invest $483 million in the 4,250 Bitcoin market, and its stock rose 30% of its market share on this news. This is the stock for those interested. Moving on to our investments, we'll go to Mr. Arthur Hayes, who is returning to cryptocurrency investments after being pardoned by the US president, and we learned that one of his first investments is a project called Bio, in which he invested $1 million, resulting in Bio returning 28% in the 7-day chart. Let's say that this Bio is about decentralized science, in the simplest terms. And moving on, we'll go to the tokenization of stocks, which in very simple terms is that Xstocks has placed its tokenized stocks not only on Solana and the BNB chain, but also on the Tron chain to bring more money and people into tokenized stocks. Moving on to our news, we'll go to our meme coins and a new Solana Launchpad which is launching today called Token Mill. And what is that? This is a launchpad where anyone can easily create coins and of course meme coins. However, what is their main difference compared to PAMFAN and the rest? Their main difference is that they do not have a design that tries to be fair and cheaper. Instead, they focus on the volatility of the tokens during their launch, giving traders a reason to use their service and increase the platform's profits. So as you can see, when cryptocurrencies are released on this launchpad, they will also put money so that the price goes up and down, allowing traders to use these fluctuations to make or lose money. And since we are on the launchpad, let me tell you that PAMFAN itself has surpassed $800 million in total revenue. And as we know from the previous episode on Crypto News, so So far, it has conquered the meme coin market again on Solana, and we'll go to our favorite cryptocurrency market, where Bitcoin is at $113,000, with the price having hit our resistance. And what made Bitcoin a little happy, while we had a green light yesterday, is that the Fed minutes came out and gave a little more clarity on what could happen with interest rates. Let's say the minutes of the Fed's policy meeting on July 29th to 30th were published yesterday, and today we learned exactly what happened. Simply put, as they say, some members preferred to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by 25 basis points at this meeting, the minutes revealed. These members judged that, excluding the impact of tariffs, inflation was moving close to the committee's 2% objective, and that higher tariffs were unlikely to have a lasting impact on inflation. However, the entire market is waiting tomorrow when the Jerome Powell comes out and speaks at Jackson Hole on the economy, so that's when we'll likely get a clearer picture of what they plan to do. And again, the entire market has been waiting for this for a few days, as you know from Crypto News. That wraps up the top news for crypto today. Is August 21st, 2025. I'd like to remind you that the content you just watched is created for educational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice, but rather as investment opinion. Please subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and feel free to comment. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.